There are two kinds of people. There are the people who get Bulletstorm and the people who don't. But what's interesting about this dichotomy is the reason for it, which happens to be the very issue the game seems to be lampooning. As for me, well, consider me a general in the pro-Bulletstorm brigade. This game is as entertaining as it is charmingly self-aware. A refreshing palate cleanser on a menu rife with shooters that take themselves way too seriously. Released in early 2011 for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC, Bulletstorm was developed by People Can Fly and Epic Games. A game that, at first look, looks like just another violent shooter with another violent protagonist. But what becomes clear after literally just a minute or two with Grayson is that his foul-mouthed, macho facade is actually a deliberate play on the tone of his peers. Well, some have said it's hard to take Bulletstorm seriously, but that's kind of the point. This is a parody of shooters that people do take seriously, and it's an effective one at that.
This is a terrible way to spend an afternoon.
Bulletstorm follows Grayson, that's Assassin Grayson Hunt to you, dickweed, on a quest for revenge. A quest that involves monsters, mutants, and even man-eating shrubbery before it's through. Everything about this setup is so blatantly stereotypical of modern shooters, it's hard to imagine anyone focusing on the narrative itself, and that's a good thing. See, what's important in Bulletstorm isn't the story, but the way the characters behave, the things they say, and most importantly, the way they say them. You can call it toilet humor if you want, but at least in Bulletstorm, it's deliberate. The games that come off that way without meaning to, those are the ones to criticize. But as much as you'll smile at the lighthearted writing, you'll also be engaged when the bullets start flying. And as the title would suggest, they do exactly that in Bulletstorm. Silly as the game may be, it's also a refined shooter with very satisfying gameplay, not to mention its own addictive hook that rewards you for killing with style. Point totals aren't based on which enemies you kill, but how you kill them. There's a huge list of kill techniques in Bulletstorm, each with its own name and points value. Kicking an enemy into the air and then filling him with bullets before he ever touches the ground is a good example. The bullet kick, as it's called. With those points, you can buy upgrades and ammunition. It's really in your best interest to experiment with your kills and be as creative as possible, and this works for two reasons. First, it's implemented into the game very well, as if the game were designed around the idea and it wasn't just tacked on. And secondly, the game makes it easy to be creative thanks to its great controls and combo system. You can kick your enemies into the air, you can slide into them, you can even toss them around with a whip. Not unlike the grapple hook in Metroid Prime, in fact. It feels great, and it's actually really tight to control. The game's not hard on the eyes either. Bulletstorm takes you to these massive alien worlds, each with unique terrain and intricate landscapes. The set pieces are often downright epic, and the colors are vibrant, the lighting effects are impressive, and despite a wonky frame rate in the PS3 version, Bulletstorm is as fun to look at as it is to play. Unfortunately, this alien blasting euphoria doesn't last long. This is a very short game, lasting no more than 5 or 6 hours at best, and in what was a deliberate design choice, a lone cooperative mode is the game's only multiplayer option. But despite its flaws, the game still shines. It's an over-the-top parody that also happens to be a great game itself. And if you like big guns, big monsters, and big explosions, there's no reason not to like Bulletstorm. Unless you're a big pansy.